the most famous equation in history. You may know no other equations, but there's one equation you know. That's Einstein's brilliant equation, E equals mc squared. Now, E in that equation stands for energy. M stands for matter. So you have matter and energy on either side of the equation. And energy therapies are a way of affecting the matter of your body using energy. There's one friend of mine whose story I'd like to share with you who did this in an astounding and moving way. Her name is Beth, and she phoned me and emailed me at one point extremely upset. She'd been diagnosed with breast cancer, and she knew I was into genetics and wondered about the genetic dimensions of this. She also had a gene test, and they found that she had 8 defective genes. Now, I tried to reassure her right away. I said, Beth, you have 24,000 genes in your cells. Let's work with the 23,992 that are just fine, rather than worrying about those 8 that are defective. And she, when she got that diagnosis, really focused on what she could do to shift the E side of the equation rather than the M side, energy rather than the matter side of her body. She got the diagnosis in a famous cancer clinic called MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. They have branches in other cities, and one of the most famous cancer clinics in the world. And the day she got the diagnosis from the oncologist at MD Anderson, the oncologist said to her, Beth, your situation is so serious, I want you to go straight from my office to radiation, to get your first radiation treatment. She had a 5-centimeter tumor in her right breast. 5 centimeters is big, about 2 inches. And not only that, they found that all the lymph nodes under her right armpit were swollen and inflamed with cancer cells. That's bad news, because when cancer gets into your lymph system, like your bloodstream, it can spread all over your body, producing metastases, secondary tumors in different parts of your body. They then found 3 spots of inflammation on Beth's right lung. So it looked as though the cancer was already traveling through her lymph system and infecting other parts of her body. That's why this was such a serious diagnosis. But Beth told the oncologist, you know, I need time to reflect. And Beth didn't get stampeded into treatment, and also had a really supportive cancer doctor, oncologist, who said to Beth, Beth, take your time, do what's best for you. Beth took a big step back from her busy life and thought, how can I change my energy? She focused on changing the energy part of the equation. And she realized she was stressed in a number of ways. She realized that she was stressed by volunteering for a lot of organizations, so she quit. She realized she was stressed by the alerts on her cell phone and her computer, so she turned them all off. She realized she was stressed by the news, so she quit watching. She had a pretty good diet already, but she cleaned up her diet as well, and she really focused on the energy side of the equation. My wife and I did some surrogate EFT with her, and she did other energy work as well. She also studied with a Qigong master called Chen Yilin, a mutual friend of ours, and did Qigong. She began to have a regular Qigong practice. She got other forms of energy healing. And again, all of these things nudging the energy part of the equation rather than M, matter. She didn't even have a needle biopsy. She declined a biopsy because often puncturing the tumor with a needle can liberate cancer cells to travel outside the tumor. She got the diagnosis in March. May, 2 months later, she went back to MD Anderson. They measured the tumor. It had shrunk from 5 centimeters to 1.4 centimeters, and all of the lymph nodes under her right armpit were beautiful and clear and normal. She later had blood tests, and they showed there was not a trace of cancer in Beth's body. Now again, Beth's method worked for Beth. It might not be the right thing for you or for every cancer patient. Maybe you do need some M as well. Maybe you need to work on only the E. Maybe you need a combination of the M and the E. Maybe that's perfect for you. But if you just focus on matter, if you only focus on the material aspect of your problems, you're leaving out the whole world of energy and all the healing that's possible in that world. So I encourage you, whether your problem is a medical condition, Whether it's a psychological problem, whether it's spiritual, whether it's your family, whether it's your work, whether it's money, whatever your issue, look at what energy can do for you, the energy dimension of the issue. If all you do is zero in on the M, on the material problem, then you're missing out on the whole enormous world of energy. And I can tell you that research shows that when you apply energy to many problems, you literally shift molecules in your body. When, for example, you calm yourself with EFT tapping, you lower your levels of cortisol, your main stress hormone. So you're literally turning off the genes that code for cortisol when you do EFT tapping. That lowers the cortisol in your body. So again, it's purely E, it's all energy, but it's actually producing changes in the M, in the molecules of your body. And if you do this, you can shift your levels of cortisol, your levels of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, your levels of the positive hormones that repair your body like DHEA. All of these things shift when energy shifts. So by all means, look at the M possibilities. But if you ignore the E, you may have missed the biggest single thing that can affect your health and well-being. Look at energy and see how you can apply shifts in energy to trigger a much better M material life.